Good morning, everybody.
Howdy.
Yes, together again.
Well, but you haven't even edited the last video we did yet. Well, actually, no. You've been editing it. You just haven't completed it yet.
Well, if you wouldn't make so many mistakes, I wouldn't have so much editing.
I'm sorry.
Yes, my goodness. We weren't planning on doing this, but some information has come in the past couple of days. And I want to thank the PMO who sent me this email. And I'll just call him S. Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. Because, I'm going to read this. Greetings from Queensland, Australia. One of the elders in a country congregation grew a beard recently. Now we're hearing that a lot of the brothers are growing beards since they don't have to go to the Kingdom Hall now. Good on him. He was down to give opening prayer at the CO visit. So started his Zoom prayer. Okay, so they're on Zoom having the meeting. And he starts his prayer with the video on. After a few seconds, they turned the video off and just left the sound on. Later, he challenged the CO and elders as to why. Don't know the details of the conversation, but end result was he told them to stick the eldership up their jumper and stood down. I'll try and find out more, but better get some pens ready for the coffin lid.
Shove it up their jumper.
Must be an Australian saying.
Yeah, for shove it up your ASS. And that's what is happening, Watchtower. That's what's happening. People are waking up, your elders are waking up, and they're telling you all to shove it where the sun don't shine because we're all getting sick of this.
Yeah. So we just want to show some inconsistencies that are going on right now. So what, you think Watchtower will have to come out with something a little more obvious?
They're going to have to be a little more authoritarian.
Oh wait, what's this? The 2016 September Study Edition. Thank you, Tammy, and your family and your husband. Thank you very much for this. Page 21, paragraph 17. What about the propriety of brothers wearing a beard? Oh, yeah. The Mosaic Law required men to wear a beard. However, Christians are not under the Mosaic Law, nor are they obliged to observe it.
See, the thing is back during the day, under the Mosaic Law, it was a disgrace. It made Jehovah's heart sad if you didn't have a beard.
Well, I have to ask, if Christians are not obliged to follow the Mosaic Law, then why they're banning tattoos also?
Well, wait a minute. We will never get rid of the two-witness rule.
Yeah. Well, back to the article. In some cultures, a neatly trimmed beard may be acceptable and respectable, and it may not detract at all from the kingdom message. In fact, some appointed brothers have beards. Imagine that. But yet they shut down this elder giving prayer because he has a beard.
Well, see, you know, the thing is, friends, Kim and I, we actually addressed the beard issue a very long time ago. And the things that we brought up at the time were things that we were indoctrinated with as Jehovah's Witnesses. And the main line of thought was, back then, is that in the business world, it was uncustomary for a businessman to have a beard. So Watchtower indoctrinated all of us to look like business people when we went from door to door, because that's what we were. We were in the business of selling magazines for the business of a publishing company.
And we had to look professional.
We had to,
honest.
that's exactly right. But as things progressed over time, more and more business people, especially the men obviously, started growing neatly trimmed, cared for, groomed beards.
Well, there's a judge here in Albuquerque that they show on the news every once in a while, sitting on the bench in his black robe, and he's got long gray hair. He looks like a mountain man. I mean, he looks like one of the guys that go to your rendezvous.
I know.
And he's got, a beard down to here, and it's all bushy and stuff.
But you have to keep in mind, friends, see, Watchtower these days, the business of publishing magazines is done. So now they don't give a hoot whether these elders or men have beards or not.
Well, in that video we did years ago, we asked the question, isn't this more like the military look? Because the short hair, clean shaven, that was the military look.
Well,
and even back in Rutherford's day. And the reason for that is because you can't wear a gas mask
right.
with the beard.
See, we already covered this years ago, but it's interesting to see that Watchtower's flavor is now changing.
Yeah. Yes. Back to the article. In fact, some appointed brothers have beards. Even so, some brothers might decide not to wear a beard. In other cultures or localities, beards are not the custom and are not considered acceptable for Christian ministers. In fact, having one may hinder a brother from bringing glory to God by his dress and grooming and his being irreprehensible.
And there it is. Because Jesus, the Son of God, had a beard. And think about the Romans during those days. It wasn't customary for a Roman to have a beard. So Jesus, in the Roman culture, was a disgrace. Watchtower, you can't have it both ways. You really can't.
Yeah, because the custom at that time was a lot of the men to be clean shaven.
That's right. It's a Roman custom.
Yeah. All right. Now, I want to thank Neat Blue Dog and thank you, Atlantis, for contacting him very much and for your information, because I was sent the cover of number 3, 2020, the Public Watchtower. And there's a difference, and I don't know which language this one is. It has all black on the front cover. And I have to ask, as Jehovah's Witnesses, weren't we told that you could walk into any kingdom hall and we would all be studying the same magazine, the same literature, and learning the same thing?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that mean that the literature would have the same pictures? I guess not.
And we were also taught that the Watchtower literature was timeless. So anything they printed, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago is still current today because, Jehovah's Word doesn't run out. Jehovah's Word is timeless.
Well, now they've changed that because there's old light and new light.
Yeah.
See
there again. Oh, my bad. Jehovah gave us wrong information 50 years ago.
All right. Now I want you guys to look at the black edition first. Do you see these two men on the front cover? They have beards.
No. Watchtower wouldn't do that. See that? To me, looking at these pictures...
Oh, well, that's just the African edition?
Oh! My bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the English edition on jw.org. In the lower right-hand corner, do you see that guy? Looks like they're having a family study or something. He's got a beard.
Come on, Kim. Look, we've done so much work in Watchtower subliminal images that this is just another example of piss poor artistically shading. I mean, come on, when you look at the cover, you can plainly see that the artist was just attempting to, do a little bit of shading, and it failed.
You really think that?
Of course I do.
Oh, wait, what's this? Go to page 10. The same guy. Does that look like shading to you?
Damn, I hate it when you're right.
So Blue Dog has some comments here. Do you notice anything different about the same two editions of the Public Watchtower number 3? Is the Watchtower telling JW men they are now permitted to have a beard? And it's funny because when I was doing some research on this, there was a post several years ago on JWN, which is one of the forums, and they were saying they would like to see a watchtower that showed one of the good men wearing a beard. Well, now you have that. Now you have your wish, because obviously he's studying with his family here. Now they also show him on page 11. You know, in the background, of course, but I mean here on page 10, it's obvious. It's obvious. You know, God, the hearer of prayer, is pleased to listen to us. And they're showing him as a Jehovah's Witness. I mean, that is what I'm getting from this.
Well, and also with the title, he's praying. He's praying with a beard. And guess what, Jehovah's Witnesses? Nobody's cutting him off. Nobody's shutting off the Zoom camera on this guy. It's right there in front of you. Wake up!
So Neat Blue Dog has an interesting question. He says, is the Watchtower so desperate that they think allowing beards will entice JW men to take the lead in the congregations?
Well, it also might be a backdoor way of, encouraging those that have left to come back too, now that, you don't have to be. Or is this also a sign of the times that the preaching work's going to be done and they don't give a crap what you look like because you ain't going from door to door no more?
Well, look at that brother in the Wisconsin congregation. I mean, he was so used to wearing a beard that he wore a beard. And I mean, he looked like a mountain man. It was like down to here. Yeah. Very sweet man.
Yep.
Very sweet man. Would actually drive the 20 miles to come visit us.
Yeah, when her own brother wouldn't.
Yeah.
Flesh and blood wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And, of course they would never use him for anything, but very sweet man. But, the final comment here on Neat Blue Dog's comments here. The 2020 August number 3 Public Watchtower shows at least 6 pictures of JW men with beards, and that includes in the new system. So here's the picture from the new system, and look over on the right-hand side. He's got a beard.
But that's different, because they're in the new system.
Yeah, and that's not just a thin shadow either. That's
it's not.
Pretty thick beard. But it's just interesting, the inconsistencies, because years ago, I mean, for all these years, there's been a ban on beards. And I want to mention that this was never an official Watchtower ban.
Right. The Watchtower always left that up to the conscience. But the stipulation was that if you have a beard, you're probably not going to be used in the congregation. And obviously, every brother wants to be used, so they will voluntarily keep their faces, in the Roman style.
Exactly. So, anyway, and I just want to show the picture from the front of the magazines side by side here. Both of them have beards.
And not only that, look at how the women have the head covering. Who are they catering to?
Well, if that's the country's custom, this may be the country's custom. But the English version has the guy with the beard too, and I'm going to assume it's a brother.
You have no choice but to assume it because it's coming out of a Watchtower magazine.
Yeah. Well, look, in his hand is one of the Society's publications, so this is not a person of the world. So, anyway, we just find it interesting that they have this. So I have to ask, is Watchtower sending a message Because, I mean, it's obvious from the September 2016 Watchtower that is still on jw.org. You can go look it up. It's the September study issue, page 21. You know, they're basically saying that it's up to the brother if he wants to have a beard or not.
And it's obvious because of the covers that Watchtower is now trying to be a little more diversified in a very divided world right now. They're pandering to whoever they need to pander to, whereas decades ago, they didn't pander to anybody. So there again, there's the ever-changing Watchtower and Babble Crap Society, because it's not about, you know, the true religion, worshiping the true God. It's all about, you know, bowing down to where the needs are to get the money to continue to flowing in.
Yeah. And this public edition Watchtower, I think they're subtle, very subtly, subliminally sending the message now that it's okay to wear beards. Because why would they have these pictures in their magazine where in years past the only ones that had beards in the magazines were the older ones from Bible times and worldly people?
Yeah. And there again, you know, we're getting elders' letters. Kim read one just a day or two ago that, you know, until further notice, that right there is telling you, friends, it's all but done.
Yeah.
Until further notice.
Yeah.
See, it. And then the one that Kim did yesterday, everybody raising their hand, yeah, we want to give all of our Kingdom Halls to the Kingdom Hall Trust.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you and I said a long time ago. It's nothing but a money-grabbing scheme.
Yeah.
A publishing company pretending to be a religion, and a real estate company pretending to be a religion.
Well, didn't I read you a message I had gotten from Adam, the one who is taking care of the Watchtower Property Tracker? He told me that since the 1st of June, now this is only the 12th, it's not even halfway through the month yet. He told me so far we have $17.1 million of property added to the tracker now. So, I mean, that is incredible, you know,
Yeah.
of how much we're finding out. And, of course, you know, I remembered that complex in Hawaii, and so that was $7.6 million that got added just this past week.
You know, it's just really a shame that Jehovah's Witnesses like my mother and your mother refuse to talk to us because of Watchtower's unbendable rules. See, if you talk to someone who's disfellowshipped, you're going to get disfellowshipped too. You know, if you're a brother with a beard, you know, you're not going to be used. And now they're changing the format, it appears, because the preaching work's all but done, because the publishing company is dead.
Yeah. Well, they even say that some appointed brothers have beards. So it should be a matter of free will at this point. So hopefully the elders will stop this nonsense about the ban on beards and, you know, start using these brothers.
Well, when you got an elder telling a body of elders to shove it up his sphincter,
Jumper.
whatever, they're all but done.
Yeah, exactly. Now, something else I just want to mention. I was reading comments underneath my video I had done about the segregation. Thank you so much, everybody, for your wonderful comments. Oh, my goodness.
Personal phone calls.
Some of them were so touching, and I've gotten some emails and phone calls, so thank you, friends. Thank you very much, because I was a little nervous on doing a video like that, because it is controversial of, you know, subject matter at this time. But I was just so upset by the May broadcast and them trying to push this as even back then when we had segregation because of Caesar's laws, we were still united and cared about one another. And it's like, no, you didn't.
No.
No, you didn't. Otherwise, you would have been fighting right along with the segregation issue.
Right.
And I loved some of your comments underneath because some of you were saying, my Kingdom Hall, my district, my area did not integrate until like 1972, 73. they said that Watchtower was one of the last places that integrated.
See, and the thing is, friends, you have to recognize from a publishing business perspective, they really didn't care. Because as long as you have a congregation full of pale faces and a congregation full of black brothers, there was no need to integrate because they were still getting money from both factions.
And the thing is that little black sister in the clip I showed, she says, oh, and Jehovah helped us to integrate, back together. And it's like, no, he didn't. Because why was the world integrating long before Watchtower was?
That's right. See,
I mean, your God is a little bit slow.
There again, it didn't matter because the money was still flowing whether they were segregated or not.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the other comments, someone left a bunch of scriptures and said, obviously, I didn't understand the concept of headship. My response, I had 49 years of that headship as a Jehovah Witness woman. And I'm up to here with the headship arrangement. So they can take that headship arrangement and stick it up their jumper. Yeah. I am so sick. Now, if this person was in our congregation underneath the headship arrangement, and, even Mikey, who's the sweetest guy ever, when he was a ministerial servant...
No, stop. I was a real asshole. Because that's what Watchtower makes out of men.
Yeah.
They don't make them spiritual heads. They make them spiritual assholes. And I was one.
And he's normally such a sweet, easygoing guy. But even back then when he was a ministerial servant, it was like, okay, I'm working full time. 40 to 60 hours a week. Sometimes on Saturday, I had to work until like noon. Just trying to keep the family, financially okay. So he could pioneer.
So I could pioneer.
And be a ministerial servant. But that wasn't good enough for the elders because they put pressure on him. As your wife's head, you need to get her out in service more. And she looks like she's lost her joy. At the meetings, she looks like she's lost her joy. Because I'm so exhausted. I did not want to go to meetings on Thursday nights. I did not want to go out in service. I didn't want to go to the meeting Sunday morning because after service and meetings on the weekends, guess what? Because he was so busy with congregation duties, I had to do everything else. I still had to do all the cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, laundry. So, yeah, I had enough of that headship for 49 years. And I don't care if it's in the Bible or not.
Well, the thing is do you see how imbalanced that viewpoint truly is? That's imbalanced is what it is. See, if you're going to really believe the Bible as the inerrant Word of God, and you're going to use this as your guideline, then you go back to the very, very, very beginning of Genesis where the scripture says that God created woman as a complement. This religion and other Christian-based religions do not view the female as a complement. They view them as subservient.
And like I always say, Adam was created out of the dirt, which makes him mud. We were taken from prime rib.
Yeah.
If you want to, go down that path and use the Bible.
See, the thing is, friends, this world is changing in more than one scene. It's people like us, people like a lot of you friends, we are sick to death of the controlling elites. And you have to recognize that your religious Christian overlords are part of the controlling elites. Because if the government can't control you, then damn it, we'll have a priest or an elder or a governing body that'll do that for us. They're one in the same. I've said this before and I'll shout it again. The dual world power is religion and government. Because where one can't control you, the other one will. And if neither one of them can control you, then you're going to get some knucklehead in the comment section saying, see, Kim, you don't understand the headship. Bullshit to that nonsense.
See, and the thing is you take someone like Mike, who was never, like, you have to do this and, tell me. Well, then you have the elders above him saying, you need to make sure she's getting out in service more and this and that. And then if they don't do it, see, the headship arrangement, and then the circuit overseers, if the elders aren't behaving themselves, when the circuit overseer comes in and says, look, you elders are wrong, you need to go apologize to Mike. That was about that issue over my book.
Never happened.
That video was from years ago. So you've got this hierarchy. And then if the circuit overseers don't, well, guess what? Then back then it was the district overseers and then zone overseers and all the way up to Watchtower. So if that is their idea of headship, I think it's all
bullshit.
Yeah.
See, there again, you have to recognize through careful and diligent study of that playbook that we call the Holy Word of God, you are using a Pauline-based set of rules. And there again, Revelation chapter 2, the Pauline thought process is put in the same category as Jezebel and Balaam, as false prophets. You're not to listen to them as false prophets. You're not to do that, but yet the Christian religion does, and they just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
They just don't get it.
I had too many friends abused by their husbands and the elders, and for them to be told to sit down, shut up, and just pray more or be a better wife.
Yeah.
No.
Be more submissive.
I believe Jesus' words where he says, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. I am free now. I am free to research what I want. I am free to believe what I want. I am free to think what I want, do what I want. I have no elders or headship arrangements above me.
And these days she's free to take the remote out of my hands.
Hey, if you're sleeping, the remote is fair game.
The remote becomes fair game.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching and your wonderful comments. I wish I could answer each and every one of you, but I appreciate it. I am reading them, and we appreciate it very much. And thank you for watching and for subscribing. My goodness, our subscriptions have just... subscribers have just been going up so much. So we thank you. We thank you. Yeah. Because without you guys, we wouldn't have this channel. Well, we would.
We would, but we would. Because see, the thing is we know from past experience and current experience that those 8 governing idiots in Warwick do watch our videos.
Well, just the things we've been talking about the past month, and then they cover it in that letter. That was very interesting.
Or changing the back cover of the songbook. Coming out with another letter about having a gun in your glove compartment of your vehicle.
Or the fire safety rules.
Or the fire... Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We've got some other videos I need to edit and get put up on our channels, but it's just not enough time because I've been working with the property tracker, and I think I can say it now without giving too much away. I had the privilege of talking to a reporter in Australia, so hopefully we'll have a video about that coming soon. You all have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.